Hello my dear friends, today we're going to play a wonderful song by Mr. James Taylor, written by Carole King. Of course, it goes like this. When you're down and troubled and you need some loving care, and nothing or nothing's going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call up my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, oh yeah, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. You got a friend. And so on. Right, if you would like to learn to play that beautiful song, then this is the place to be. Everything you need to know to do it. We're going to do it with a pleck, not with fingers. Why not fingers? Because I love finger picking. Well, on the record it features about 2 or 3 picky guitars, so in order to get a bit of volume, and most of you out there will use a pleck, we'll do it with a pleck today. It's a bit louder and it's a nice arrangement as well. It's a bit easier to play if you're not used to finger picking. So if you like that arrangement, this is what you do. Download all your idiot-proof paperwork right now, please, by clicking the blue link below this video. It's in the description box for those that struggle to find it. And if you don't see it straight away, there's a little more button, because sometimes when the description of the video is there, it carries on. So click the more button and you'll see a blue link, and that's the link to download this stuff. It's all free. It's all idiot proof. So what does that mean for those who are new to the channel? There's a few more thousand this month, which is great. These are your finger positions. This is all unique to my channel, and this is what we're going to be playing string wise. The strings are running here, as you will see. People moan at me. Some fella said, why do you keep pointing at paper? Well, I'm doing it because a lot of people out there don't know what this is, because it's unique. All right, so there we go. Right, so otherwise you won't know what you're doing, for F's sake. All right, so here we go. There's our string numbers there. The beats are at the bottom, and our arrows here are going to indicate our pleck direction. All right, so that's what that is. So we can't get lost, and we've done a verse, the middle, and all that sort of stuff. And then better still, once you've got all that together, you can go through the whole song. Everything's written down, every single word, and I've painstakingly put the correct chord above the lyric that the chord changes on, because quite often, well, all the time, books never do that. They just assume you know. And why would you if you're just starting off? So before we go any further, download that stuff. While you're doing it, thank you very much for the donations to my little channel, for the tea and coffee fund. If you want to donate to all this free stuff, there's a thanks button at the bottom right somewhere, or you can join my Patreon platform. And I want to thank all those people who've joined Patreon, because they're the people that bring all this stuff to you, okay? Because it takes time to put all this together. So thanks to those people, I'm able to carry on doing this. So thank you to those. This one's for you on this Saturday Easter, all right? I feel a bit silly saying that, because if you're watching this in the middle of summer, hey ho, you know what I mean. Right, let's begin. First thing, capo, 2nd fret. You don't have to put a capo on if you don't want to, but it'll put it in the same key then as Mr. James Taylor, all right? So what are we gonna play? Well, the chords in it are pretty straightforward, all right? They really are. And any little fiddly bits that you see me doing, you don't have to do them. I'm going to show you ways you can just sing the song and play the chords, all right? But if you want to put some of the little bits in that the finger style does, then go with this, because I think you'll find it fascinating. I think you're going to enjoy doing something that you didn't think was possible, all right? So look at your first chord. We've got a G, and you'll see below you've got your string numbers 6, 4, 3, 6. We can see underneath that first shape. and our beats are 1 and 2 and our arrows are telling us which direction we want the pleck to go in, either down or up. And it's quite important that, all right? So let's begin. It says to play a 6 with a downstroke. So we've got our shape on, okay? Look at your diagram, look at the shape, and then do what it says below. So there's our 6, then a 4 with a down, and then a 3 with an upstroke, and then a 6 again with a down. Now if you catch any of the other strings in between those strings, don't worry about it, it's all part of it. Okay, because you're playing a chord. We're just emphasizing those particular notes, all right? So 6, 4, 3, 6. And then we're on the same shape, but you'll notice that there's a first finger with a circle around it on your next diagram. That's telling you that something's going to happen with this finger. Let's find out what, shall we? We're going to come up on the 2, the second string that is. Then we're going to add this first finger to the 3rd string at the 2nd fret. We know that because there's a little arrow pointing at it saying to do just that with an upstroke, and then we go back to the 2 again. Now of course when we've played it, when you get onto the next string, unless it tells you to keep it on, just get rid of it, all right? So our first bar goes like this. I'll just give you the string numbers. 6, 4, 3, 6, 2, 3, 2. Can you see my hand on? Watch this hand now. 6, 4, 3, 6, 2, 3, 2. Then you will keep your little finger where it is, and you will bring these fingers down to make the chord C. Again, the diagram will show you exactly where your fingers go. Idiot proof, you see. But now you'll notice after the 4, the and after the 4, it's on the next shape. All right, we'll look at what that means in a second. Let's just concentrate on what we've got to do. So we're on the C now, the 3rd shape along. I'm going to play 2, 5, 1, 5. So if I put that together, do it again, sorry. I have trouble doing it slow. Okay, then you'll notice the last shape, it's got a C stroke D. What I'm doing there is I'm releasing this finger to make the D note more prominent. And we're going to play, oh, well, it's got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 in a bracket. So we're going to strum these notes together. How do we know that? Because there's an arrow there saying strum. And we're going to strum by doing an up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay. Put that all together, we've got this. One more time. And again. All right, so page 1 done. We go back to our G. And then again on the half beat, the and, we're going to jump to the 6th string. And now we've got a little bit of work to do with this first finger here. Okay, we're going to play a 6 to start with because it tells us to do that with a downstroke. And then we've got all upstrokes now. This finger will go onto the 2nd string at the 1st fret because it tells us to do that. Then we take it off and play the 2nd string again with an upstroke. Then we'll put the same finger on the 3rd string at the 2nd fret. And then we'll play the 2nd string open again. I'll do that again. Watch this hand, please. And can you see the way I'm scraping some of the notes above those strings? Thus, good word, giving the impression there's more than one thing going on. Rather than go, we want to create the impression that there's a happening. If we do it this way, we get that sound. Sounds like there's more than one guitar, you see. So we've got and 1 and 2 and then back to the 6. And then the 3 again with an upstroke. The 3 again with his finger back on. And then the 2. And when we play the 2, we will release this finger. Okay, so we've got, I'll go from this bar on page 2. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, And then we're going to play an F sharp minor, and I love this inversion of F sharp minor because it's easy. Okay, it's no bar chord required. You've got all 3 fingers in the same fret. Okay, we've got our second finger on the bass string at the 2nd fret. We've got our first finger on the 4th string, also at the 2nd fret, and we've got our 3rd finger on the 3rd string at the 2nd fret. Right? Can you see that? They're all squeezed in. There's those 2 there, and just sneak that one in. And when you're on this shape, you're going to play 6, 4, and then do that again, 6, 4, and then up on the 3, and then down on the 6. That's all we're going to do with the count 1 and 2 and then we go to a B7 simply by moving this finger to the left, bringing this one down. 3rd finger stays where it is, and your little finger will now play the 1st string at the 2nd fret, making sure you mute this bass note because we don't want to ever hear that when we're playing B7th. And we're going to play 3 and 4 and. That's all we do. We pick up the strum again. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 are the strings that we're going to strum. We know that because we're in a bracket, and there's a little arrow pointing down to it saying strum. All right, so if I play from page 2, from where we started that on the G, so we've got. Now I hit a 2 there instead of a 3 on the F sharp minor. If you ever do that, don't worry about it. As long as your fingers are in position, you're playing a chord, so be it, it'll be fine. Okay, so from the top then, that's the end of the intro, by the way. And it's quite important that you get the intro right, you know, because once you start singing, of course, that's the important bit. But while there's no vocal going on, it's always nice to put a few little bits in. So I'm going to look at page 1 and page 2 now. I've got my capo on the 2nd fret. I know what I've got to do. So I'm now going to play it again, okay. You might see me when I go to the C, playing the C like that and putting this finger on here when I need it, okay? When you get a bit more familiar with the piece, you'll say, well, I'm not going to use that 1 until the end of that particular bar, so I'll leave it off and then I'll put it on. So you may see me doing things like that. For example, when I start playing the G, I'll play the 5th string even though it's not written down there. Why would I put a finger on them? Because if I'm going to hit it, it's going to be underneath the 6, isn't it? So I want to make sure I don't get this sound. That's why it's half strummed, half picked. And so on. All right, so there's page 1 and page 2. All right, so we're done. That's the intro. That's the main bit done. Now, when you get to page 3, when we go into the verses, it's mainly strumming. All right. So let's have a quick look at this. Page 3, these are your verses. Okay, this is the first half of the verse, and then on page 4 we'll see the second half of the verse. So our vocal will come in here. Now underneath this you'll just see I've written 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and all you're going to be doing is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Okay, that's your main rhythm. And the chords you'll know, we've got when you're E minor, B7th, E minor. Now look at this. Look at the second. Again, I've got to keep pointing, otherwise people will get lost. You see, bar 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and bar 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. These two shapes split between a bar. So you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Watch out for those. They will catch you out if you're not careful. Start again. Right. So from the top. When you're down in trouble and you need a loving care. Okay, that's our E minor to E minor 7th to our A minor 7th, and nothing, oh D7th, nothing is going right. Now there's 2 bars of G at the end of that. Now I would probably pinch a little bit of the intro to go into that, to fill the hole where I'm not singing like this. Nothing is going right. I would take the end of the intro You know that bit we did on the twos? Because the second half of the verse goes into the F sharp minor. Close, so close your eyes. And we're just going to strum through this F sharp minor. Close your eyes and think of me. E minor. Soon B7 will be there. E minor 7th to brighten up. B minor 7th, bar at the 2nd fret from the capo, clearly. Even your darkest to an A minor 7th with an added G down here. And then instead of just playing a bog standard D7th, let's put a run in, because there's lots of little runs, and it's a dead easy run this. Watch this. On the D7th, you'll go down, up. You will take off your 3rd finger and you'll go down, up again. Then you'll move these fingers up to your 3rd fret. We know that because it says, and you'll go down, up again, and then you'll go back to your 1st fret with this finger still off. Okay, now watch this. There's no, I haven't put the arrows on this particular bit, but I'm telling you, aren't I? So watch. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Strum just continues. I'll play that. Page 4. Rise and think of me. Soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. 1. Now sometimes you'll see me going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So on the and 3, instead of just keeping it up, I might just put a little kick in there to give the impression there's some bass guitar working along. All right, you'll get this as you get going. You seasoned players out there will know that anyway. Okay, so we're into the chorus. Even your darkest, you just to a G. And don't forget we're capoed at the 2nd fret, so when you look at these shapes, forgive me if I keep pointing at these, it has to be done, okay? Make sure you pay attention to capo too, it's very important. You just G, call out my G major 7th. Now this is why I always insist playing your G like this, so you can take this little finger off and you bring your 1st finger down to your 1st string 2nd fret. You just call out my name, C, and you know wherever I 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the A minor to D7. I'll come G running, oh yeah, to see you D7 sus4. Play a D7th like that. Imagine you've got a D7th, little finger there. Okay, but because it's in front of your 3rd finger, we don't need that one, so it's written da, da. And it's beautiful. He does this a lot. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I'll run again. Okay, I'll sing that bit through. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yeah. See you again. Run. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call. Now on that last E minor, I put a little fiddly bit in. Play through it to start with when you're doing it. So you've got all you gotta do is call 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and when I do it, I sort of go 1 and 2 and 3 let me just get my head around it. I put a 1. I just add a little something. I do down, little finger on the 1st string with an upstroke, up again but with a hammer and a pull, little finger on the 2nd string, and then 1st string again. And don't have to do that though. And where are we? Where are we up to? We're on page 6. And I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now it's important that you get this bit right. There's like a little jump on here. On page 6, 1 from C to B minor, 1, 2, B minor 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. On that A minor 7th, you'll play the 1 and you'll hold it, 1 and then straight down to your D7 sus4, as we did before. Now your A minor 7th, you'll notice you've got a stroke with a G. I'm referring to this little finger down here, okay? The diagram will show you that. All right, so you've got a, and then it says back to the intro, and then verse 2. You've got a friend. When the sky, and so on. All right, so we've done the whole of all the verses. Then we get to this beautiful thing. So you'll go back to the intro and then verse 2. So then we've got the middle section. Let's have a look. Verse 2. We got verse 2, then we do a chorus. I'll sing it for you. When the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind should begin to blow, keep your head together, call my name out loud. Soon you'll hear me knocking upon your door. Run down, you just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yeah, see you again. Run. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, and then we're gonna go into this beautiful middle section, okay, to an F. Now, if you can't play an F with a bar, don't worry, play a simplified F like that, or play an F like this. As long as you just do a 4-string version. What is that, just in case you're not sure? 2nd, 3rd, 4th. You must not play the 5 or the 6. Little finger can go down there. But in this, if you can play a bar F, just for this bit, do it. So, say, ain't it good to know, C, you've got a friend, G, when people can be so cold. They'll, back to C, but this time with the little finger down here, with the G, they'll hurt you, yes, and desert you. I love that change. It's an F7 with a G. Watch how you do it. There's your C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and keep your 3rd and 4th finger where they are. Let me think. And put your bar across and make your 7th. So there's your C. So you're going to put your bar across, and you put your 2nd finger now on the 3rd string, whilst maintaining this 1st string of the 3rd fret. They'll hurt you, yes, and desert you. Oops. Now I want to keep this little finger on throughout the rest of this part. E minor with the little finger of the G. They'll hurt your soul if you, to an A7th, keep that little finger on. If you let them, oh, but to an A minor 7th, still with the G. And, oh, but don't you let them. What happens then? Now, you will notice there that I was stumbling over the lyrics, but fear not. Every single word we need to do to sing is here. All of it, the whole bloody lot. So I'm going to just have a quick look at that middle bit, because I've got the words. Let's have a look. Somewhere here, bear with me. Here we go. There it is there, see? So we've got, say, ain't it good to know that you've got a friend. When people can be so cold, they'll hurt you, yes, and desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. You just call, and then off we go again into the chorus. You just call up my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yeah, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. You got a friend. You got a friend. You got a friend. And end it. Now, what was I doing on the You Got a Friend? Because he sings, ain't it good to know, ain't it? You can do all that if you want. I'd have to listen to it. All I'm interested in at the moment is showing you how to play the guitar part. So you've got to think of the intro, 1 and 2. And then stay on the C. So you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Exactly the same. And again, 1 and 2 and... You've got a friend. And then end it like this. I did a hammer there, you don't have to. Watch this. So one more time. Here we go. And then accept the applause with grace and just a hint of smuggery, because you will have played the most beautiful song with a plectrum. People will be able to have heard it because you play with your fingers, you know. You can do it with your fingers, but it's a little bit without those other guitars. If you listen to James Taylor's version, you've got a bass guitar, you've got about 3 acoustics thumping along, and wonderful voices accompanying it. Don't forget these, what I'm doing is we're learning to play on one guitar to give your listeners, your audience, the impression that they're listening to the record that they all know and love. I had a little bit of reverb on my own. For those people who want to know what I put on, it's only a tiny touch. Patreon, I talk about amp settings on Patreon. I don't do it on my general YouTube channel because people are bored, and so if you're interested in all that background stuff, go to look at my Patreon thing. There's a link for Patreon below this video, and I've also put some other little links that you might be interested in for like some of the other picky things. All right, what else have we got? And of course, don't forget, most of all, the link to all this paperwork, which is your idiot-proof paperwork, you'll find there. And do feel free to share it to whoever you like. You know, it's all my work. If you want to share it, then you have my blessings to do so. All right, on that note, again, thank you for the tea and coffee fund, and I shall look forward to seeing you again for another fun pat lesson in a couple of days. See you soon. Bye bye.